What's up, YouTube? Hellspawn here again. Take number 3. First time people call me on the phone. Now my dogs go nuts and I have to redo this again. Anyway, starting from the beginning. Matchbox. Red convertible Carmen Gia. I picked that up for Mr. Sensitivity, but apparently he already has one, so I'm either going to hang on to it or trade it for another Matchbox car or turn it in or something. I don't know. Picked up the NASCAR Hot Wheels. Pretty cool car. And I found the giant Hummer H2, the police Hummer H2, so I went ahead and picked him up. You can see the difference between the two cars there. The Hummer is actually really big, so definitely a cool vehicle. I had one of these before, but I returned them just because I needed a few extra bucks. Shouldn't have done it because it took me months to find another one. I just found this at my local Walmart. They seem to have gotten a restock in all at one time because, you know, I got the Thor and a whole bunch of Joes and all sorts of stuff all at the same time. But really cool Thor 3 3/4 destroyer figure. A lot of stores aren't even getting the second wave because they sold so badly the first time they don't want to get stuck with them again. But this is one of the ones that everybody wants. The box is kind of scrunched up. You can see it's kind of dinged up there. It's kind of crunched in on the top up here, and then, you know, crunched on the side. But, you know, the first one I had was mint, but I'm not going to take the risk of not ever being able to find this guy. There was one extra one, but the thing looked like somebody sat on it, so I didn't pick both of them up. I got just one. Finally found the new G.I. Joe wave, so I picked all of them up that I could find. I grabbed at least one of each of the characters that I could find. Steel Brigade, Iron Grenadier, Hazard Viper, really cool figure. Cobra Viper with a chrome face mask, another really cool figure. Another Steel Brigade, and the Cobra Trooper. So, apparently Sergeant Stalker is part of this wave. I haven't found him. These are the only ones. I grabbed, like I said, at least one of each one I saw, and these are the only ones that I saw. So if I ever find them, I'll pick them up. They also have 3 coming soon, like shadow characters on the back, so we'll have to see what those are. Also found a old school, not old school, but old wave Cobra Shock Trooper at Walmart, so I picked him up. And I've been looking for this guy since this new series came out. The Elite General from the Halo Reach Series 4. It's the one with the horn on the front of the helmet. So, definitely a cool figure. I like collecting the Covenant figures. Mostly the Elites and the Grunts. So I'm going to have to pick up that Grunt Major. I also need that Grunt Heavy from Series 3 that looks like he has the goggles on. Not a big fan of all the other, like, odd Spartan characters. I really don't care. I collect the main characters. I know they have George without his helmet, but he's going to be a peg warmer, so I'm definitely not going to pick him up. But the main Spartan characters I'll pick up, like the Master Chief and stuff like that. But other than that, I try and stay with the Covenant characters. But other than that, my wife picked this up for a friend of hers at work. I just figured I'd include it. It's a pop culture Star Wars vinyl bobblehead. I know they didn't do this on purpose, but they almost look like the Family... Like, this guy looks like the Family Guy Stewie as Darth Vader. Just the way that he's, you know, kind of chibi-eyed, like, you know, VCD-looking stuff. It's kind of funny, but it does look almost like Stewie. I'm a big fan of, like, chunky figures. Hulkbusters and Apocalypse and all that other kind of stuff. Like, so I had to pick this guy up. It's the Saga Legends Space Trooper. Definitely really cool. Like I said, I like figures like, you know, the Hummer, how it's giant Hummer. You know, the Elites are huge. The Destroyer's the biggest one of the set. You know, the Hulkbusters, the Apocalypses from Marvel Universe and Iron Man and stuff. Always like the big, chunky kind of characters. You feel like you're getting more for your $7 than the little, tiny, wafer-thin characters. But definitely pick this guy up. I've never seen him. I've seen him on the back of the boxes, but I've never actually seen him on the pegs. So he was the only one. He's the only one I've seen to date. So I went ahead and picked him up. Keeping with the chunky characters trend, picked up Scar, Son of Hulk, from the newest wave of Marvel Universe figures. Definitely a really cool figure. I'm glad I picked him up. I'll definitely be hanging on to him. Last but not least for this haul, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm a gigantic Predator fan. And although I'm more of a fan of the statues, the hot toys, things like that, NECA has always made good figures. They've always been detailed, And so I picked up the Elder Predator from Predator 2. I haven't seen the classic yet. If I find him, I will pick him up, just because I've picked up most of the other ones, so might as well stay with the trend. The only thing I don't like about NECA figures is, like, that body is just a remolded classic Predator body. The first series, not remolded, but repainted. The first series of Predators figures, when they did the new Predators line, they did a unmasked classic Predator. They used that body for the masked classic Predator. They used that body repainted for the Elder Predator. And they also used that body repainted for the new classic Predator from Predator 1. Now, I mean, adding all the different stuff like the bone trophies, the leather harnesses, the belt with all that kind of stuff, you know, repainting it and everything does definitely, you know, in the new head mold and stuff, does definitely set it apart from the others, but you can definitely tell that that's the same body that's just been repainted. So that's the one thing I do have a problem with NECA is, you know, I know companies trying to save money by reusing molds and stuff like that, but it definitely would be nice to see, like, totally remolded stuff for each character if possible. I don't know if you can see it, but on the side here it's got his backpack, his gun is right there, and then on this side is his sword. So the Elder Predator definitely comes with a slew of accessories and stuff, which, like I said, does help set it apart. But, you know, that's one thing about when you're buying $15 action figures. A lot of times you just get, you know, remodels and repaints and stuff like that. You know, so it is what it is. It's definitely an awesome figure. I definitely like NECA stuff, but I really only pick up the ones that really kind of speak to me. The Predators ones I kind of pick up by default, but like I saw the Hound, which I think is on the back, and that thing just looks like crap, so I didn't pick it up. I've got the Hot Toys version. See that? That's the picture of the classic Predator. But if you go into my office and look at my desk, the 18-inch Predator, it's basically a giant blown-up version of that. I'll pick that up just by default. I probably won't take them out of the package because I've got the 18-inch version out of the package already. But I've got the Hot Toys version of the Tracker with the dog, so I won't be picking that up. But anyhow, you know, not a huge haul, but at the same time, a pretty decent assortment of stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll be doing reviews on some of this stuff a little bit later. So until then, keep on collecting.